Alright, with the dress series over, pretty much all of Yuyu's dressed units are done. So let's get his rankings of his Trickstar's alternate forms of Verina, based on anime appearances only, based on their design and not by their abilities. So unfortunately no Vairina Urger because that never showed up in the anime for some reason. But every other Verina did show up in the anime, one of them barely had a screenshot. But anyway, let's begin, and remember, this is just based on my opinion based on how cool they look. And I am counting both overdress and cross overdress in this, not the Trickstar itself. So on the bottom of my list, which has got number 11, it is Verina Arcs. First off, this one barely got a screenshot. I'm just gonna let you know that one. But 2, I think it's also the weakest of the design too. Yes, all the head designs are pretty much the same, but this is the wyvern-like Verina here, and I just think this is the least coolest one out of all the Verinas, despite being one of the most useful Verinas. And also, this is the Verina without the legs. Not saying like this is not an awesome looking unit, I'm just saying this is the weakest of the designs. And then we number 10, which is Verina itself. Very Chrono Jet looking in a way. I mean, yes, it is based off Chrono Jet in a way. I mean, even Trickstars can be based on Chrono Dran, but I would have to say just cooler than Verina Arcs, and I would have to say this is basically the base form of Verina himself, if you're not counting Trickstar as the base form. Trickstar turns into Verina as the base battle form, and I have to say this one doesn't look too bad. Of course, being the base form is not going to look as cool as the other forms. And then to number, it's Verina. Verina's design looks not too bad. I just don't like the purple aesthetic on Verina, but the armor design doesn't look too bad. But I will have to say the purple armor for Verina in the crossover dress state, it doesn't exactly look right. It doesn't really look completely like a Verina to me. But I do love the arrow cannons that it holds and the backpack design in a way. In a way, it does look pretty cool, just not the purple. Number 8, it's Valiente. This is basically the base evolved form of regular Verina, and I have to say, this is pretty cool looking. Sure, not much different from regular Verina, just extra claws and extra armor, but I will have to say this is a pretty cool concept from Trickstar going to battle form Verina and then going to other potential forms. And this being a stronger version of base Verina looks pretty awesome with the cool little armor pack, in the way the backpack too. And I have to say the red just fits really well as the Verina design, better than Verina's purple. Even though Verina in a way could say is cooler, the purple kind of throws it off that it kind of doesn't look right. That's why I say Valiente is cooler. Number 7, it's Verina. Verina's design doesn't look too bad. Very heavily armored with cannons, and I have to say that looks pretty menacing in a way too bulky as well. But I do definitely love the cloak and some of the armor pieces. Not the coolest of the Verina designs, but I will have to say it does look cooler than Valiente, and mainly because it's the armor cannons. Number 6, it's Blitz Verina. I have to say this one looks pretty cool. We got the sword shield armor on the gauntlets, and I kind of really love the design. The armor design definitely looks great, especially the defensive like armor while also battle like armor. And even the backpack looks really cool as Blitz Verina. The combination of this Verina with this prayer dragon just looks right, and I really love the sword shield design. It just looks cool, especially with the glowing blue on it. Makes it feel like it's both a defensive and offensive weapon at the same time. And then for number 5, we got Mir Verina. Mir Verina's design just looks pretty cool. I love the Mir aesthetic on it, especially the Mir wings. I just love that design. The armor design completely changed compared to many other forms of Verina, especially the crossover dress Verinas, and that's what made me love this Verina even more, because the armor aesthetic with the Mir aesthetic on the armor just looks really great. In fact, I say this one looks more like it's supposed to be a grade 3, and the idea of the Mirs reflecting off his other forms, pretty cool idea here. The Mir chest armor just looks awesome too, by the way. And into number 4, we got Garu Verina. Garu Verina's design just looks very cool. Wing design is cool. The sword gauntlet design is cool, which is why it's higher than Mir's Verina, because this one's a very warrior-like. The jewels on the sword looks cool too, and the extra armor design from his prayer dragon just looks cool, especially on the helmet. And I really love the horns on this one for some reason. And uniquely, this one is one of those with the rare head design. And the Galo Knight chest plate armor on it looks cool as well. Number 3, Expecta. Expecta is the one of the very unique Verina designs because this is the centaur-like, and I really love the design. It looks very powerful, of course, centaur-like. The head design looks really cool. I love the shield and the spear on him. Just looks really cool with especially the green aesthetic on this Verina. And very unique design of all the Verinas, and of course it's very knight-like looking as well for being a centaur-like, because a lot of centaur aesthetic is very knight-like as well. Would have been cool if they added some wings on the centaur part, so it basically looks like a Pegasus, but in a way it does look like a Pegasus as well, because knight very theme, and in a way Verina does have wings, and yeah, this Verina still has wings. But what really makes this really high on the list is the very unique design being a centaur-like, and still the head design is still cool, and the weapon design. And then to number 2, it's Verina Esperia. This one is of course very unique design, not only that it's the strongest of the Verinas, basically Yuyu's strongest unit besides his final boss unit. This is basically a homage of every other Verina form combined into one, hence even the skill tells you that. All the Verinas go into its dress. I love the shoulder claw design, especially how it glows into wings basically, especially on how Titan looking this Verina looks compared to every other Verina. It has its own very unique armor aesthetic compared to the other Verinas as well. The head design is definitely a homage to every other Verina form. Those shoulder claws is definitely a homage to Urger in a way. So yeah, this Verina is basically a combined form of every other form Trickstar has became, and I really love this design for it. It's basically Trickstar's ultimate form. And then we go to number 1, which is Verina, the only Verina that has a combined fused name. Not title plus Verina, it's combined 2 names with the Verina. Basically, the ultimate prayer dragon, the only one that fuses with multiple prayer dragons into one, and basically the one that can stop the dragon tree, so it's going to be the most powerful of the Verina forms in a way. And in my opinion, this is the coolest of the design, cooler than Esperia. Yes, it's basically regular Verina form fused with 4 different prayer dragons, and that's what makes this one cool. The armor design on this one just looks cool with the other prayer dragons becoming as one. The ultimate Verina basically. The ultimate guardian of Cray basically. The dragon looking knight. I love the head design. It just looks cool with the helmet. The gauntlet designs maybe look a little big, but it does look cool in this Verina considering that Verina technically already grows claws when Trickstar turns into it. I love the leg design too. The sword design looks really big and it definitely looks awesome. And I love the wing design too, the very glowing wings. This looks like a very heavenly looking Verina, and that's why I say this one looks like the strongest one of them all. Even though in a way Verina Esperia looks more powerful, this one is combined with all the prayer dragons basically, or the strongest of the prayer dragons. And I have to say this one has the coolest of the armor aesthetics because of it. So that's it for this rankings of my Verina units. What do you guys think of it? And how would you rank them? And how would you rank them if it's by skill? I will still say Esperia and Verina are the strongest ones and are probably the best ones, while Arx is probably the most useful one, but that's just me. And tell me what you guys think about Verinas overall and the overdress and cross overdress mechanic. I think it was a cool concept, rearguard evolving. I just really wish that cross overdress did what overdress did, where you would overdress on top of overdress. Even if cross overdress decided to have cross overdress and then overdress on top of the cross overdress unit, I would have loved that, but when cross overdress was introduced, it was a little boring considering that that's all it did. It was just cross overdress and nothing evolving on top of it. I was hoping for something like Verina, one that would have a unique way of cross overdressing, like, you know, Verina with multiple prayer dragons, or 2, overdressing on top of the cross overdress because Clad and Prayer was a thing. But unfortunately we never got that, and I really wish they did something more with Clad and Prayer. And I was also hoping that we get a new form of Jiva, but we didn't get that either. But that's an oh well. But anyway, this is the final evolution of Yuyu's story, so I decided to do this now. And what did you guys think about overdress overall? Which of course also includes wheel dress. I say rough start and a little bit of a rough end, but middle portion was definitely really good, in my opinion. But on that, that's it for this, and see y'all next time.